Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss a business case for a legal department in an organization or a law firm who wants to automate the process of creating and sending legal documents to multiple parties for signing or to collect more information. For this, we are using Dynamics 365 and Adobe Sign. None of these videos are sponsored by anyone, so this information is based on the personal experience. And to do this, we need, of course, Dynamics 365, and we need to install Adobe Sign, and I will include in the description below a number of links of how to install Adobe Sign for Dynamics 365. But once you install Adobe Sign, you will get the app of Adobe Sign, which you can use to get the information. But anyway, I included in my app, which I created for the law firm. And over here, you can see that there is the dashboard, which it tells the number of contracts that's been signed, the status of it, and all the information about the agreement and so on. To do this, I had to create a number of documents. This process can actually work for any type of documents, and the company who has this number of set of documents can create a one entity to host all this information, or multiple entities for to collect the information. For this, for example, non-disclosure agreement, which we'll take in our case today, or it can be power of attorney, any type of documents that requires signature from a number of parties. To do this, I've downloaded a sample document, a Word document, that requires to collect some information between the parties, the date of the document, the name of the party 1, party 2, the type of the document, number of the relationship of party 1, the relationship of party 2, and there are a number of options like employer, client, etc., employee, consultant, etc. And there are some of the information like number of days that I highlighted as well, the governing law which this contract will be depending on, and at the end the signature information, date of signature, and the print name of the signers. And to do this, I've used what is called Adobe tags, and I will include again in the description a link to this page which will show the information of how to create these tags. And as you can see here, it's actually very rich and allow you to do a lot of things that it's somehow difficult, but once you do it, you will be able to go through it and add all those type of fields. And I included some of the examples that you can copy, and in our example there is a number of things like text field, date field, like over here this is a date field which shows the format of the date and everything, and who is, for example, over here, who is supposed to fill this field, signer 1, signer 2. Over here there is we should choose one option, so instead of the checkbox that was there in the first document, as we can see here, I replaced it with the radio buttons, and same as the rest, the return value, and I've made some fields to be able to pass this information. And if we go to the structure of the field itself, we can see that over here the name is the value that I'm passing through within the document, and I'm using the hashtag sign and the $sign to use that variable within the text itself. And we have a number of information like the signer 1 name. This is the value of Adobe Sign, or the variable that I'm setting in Adobe Sign. And within the data map, I will show how I'm gonna pass this information back and forth. And back to Dynamics. So what we do is we will go to the data map, which already been created, and I will show you how. I created a new data map called NDA, and I created an entity called NDA agreement. It can be one entity for all the agreements and can be organized within one entity, or each agreement can be held into one entity. And there is a post in d365update.com explaining everything about how to create the entity and the type of fields that we've collected from the document itself. Once we go to the data map, we will see that there are two ways of data map. First is to map from Dynamics out to Adobe and from Adobe back to Dynamics. So over here, I will choose the fields that exist in the NDA entity that was created, or any relationship that is related to that entity. And for here, for example, I have signer 1, and this is the contact information of the first person who will sign the document. And once we create it, for example, if I choose name or date of the created on, this contract was created on, to pass over this variable, we can go back and see within Dynamics that the date is created here, the first value, and it mentioned the format and is date, and this is the created date when this contract was first created. And to do this, we have to pass the variable over here, date created. This is Adobe Sign variables, and paste it here. This, as you all know, created on is one-way direction, so it will be going out from Dynamics out to Adobe Sign as a value, and we will see how, but it will never come back and it will not overwrite the data. So if I want to pass it through to bring two-way direction, this is, I can check this, but not in our case, and I can overwrite the value that's coming back. And all the data map is created, as you can see here, created on the governing law, the return value, and so on. And once we do this, we will create an agreement template. This is the one that we created, and we will have to refer to a data map that uses the same, the one that we just created. And then we have to set the recipients, who will receive the recipients, and we have two recipients who will, in sequence, will sign this agreement. And I will have to attach the Word document as in here, and it's already been attached. And to continue to do this, I have to go to my entity, which is the non-disclosure agreement. I have to create a new one, and we should give it a name. This is the and this is the agreement of my agreement. It's, of course, in your case, you will have something meaningful than this. And once the governing law, I can say California. Then the return material, I can say in number of days, 20 days. Signer 1, for our example, we will put Jon Snow, and the other party is King's Landing, and Arya Stark is going to be signing for them. And once I save, I can send this for signature. And because we created the agreement using the template that we have, we can directly send it from here. And this is the email of John. The email is about to be sent. The inbox is empty. And once it's sent, we should receive an email from John stating that the email is received. Any minute now. Yes. So And we can go in and sign this agreement. It's very important to show that Arya Stark has not received anything yet. She has not received anything yet. Her inbox is empty. And we can fill this information for John. And he will decide that the type of agreement is different and he's a client. This is 20 days, agreed, California, and he can get to sign here. And he's going to use today's date. And this field is validated. So if I use any value, it will not accept. It has to be correct format. Today's date, and he can, once everything is completed, he can sign. So back to Dynamics, if we go to the agreement, we will see that a new agreement has created today, and it's out for signature. Yet the information didn't come from here, but soon it's refreshing, and now it's been signed, and yet Arya didn't sign. So if we bring Arya Stark inbox and we refresh, she has received the email, and she can go and review the document and sign as a second signer. And we can see here that Jon Snow information has been added. He's the one who was authorized to choose the type of document, and Arya has to fill in the rest of the information. The relationship of Jon is client. She has no control of this information, and she can say she's a consultant. 20 days still there, and the governing law is California, and she can go and sign. And the date is not mandatory, so she will finalize and sign. So once we go back to Dynamics, we can refresh. And it's been signed. The agreement is signed. If we go back to the contacts, and we can go to Jon Snow, we can see that the agreement is included in his timeline. We can open it. And we can see the signed agreement and all the related information. One of the things that I've seen in many legal companies or legal department that their contracts or agreement doesn't include one document only. To do this, they can include multiple documents. And if we go to the agreement that we have here, this is our template. I've created another document that I can show you here. Just I've created another document, as you can see here. It shows to collect information about the signers' IDs, so to include an image within the document. I've seen in many companies that their document has different schedules that is included into the document, and in here we can see that we have only one document, that we can add another document as we saw the Word document. It includes the IDs as well. And if we go to the non-disclosure agreement, we can create new with IDs. And we can say Jon Snow, same thing. We will not set this information for now, and we will save and send this for signature. And now Jon should receive a new document. Of course, he will receive a confirmation that he got the document signed, and he will receive the new agreement, which should consist of 3 pages, not only 2, where he can upload his ID, which will be placed within the document, and same thing, he will fill his information, change the document type, change the relation, set the number of days. This is now he can set it. And apply, and then he can send. And then again, Arya will receive the email asking for her signature with the same sequence. She can choose her ID, fill her information. She's a consultant again, and she can sign. So if we go back to Dynamics, if we go to first we need to see our contract. The status of our contract is out for signature. It is signed. Both are signed. If I go to contacts, I will go to Jon Snow. I will find that the document is signed, and it has the pictures of the signees. Of course, the order of the pages can be changed according to your wish. The last thing that I want to show today is generally if you want to create contracts on the fly. So if I go here and I create new agreement, and I will set the signer, I will choose contact, and then I will use Jon as a signer, save and close. And in the agreement details, I should choose to upload the non-disclosure agreement, our example. Of course, it can be any other document. And I can allow the review and position of the signature. And if I click send the agreement, the preview will start. And in the document, I can place anything as I want. I can drag new signature, new email, different types of fields. I can add a checkbox, attach file if needed, and place them within the document, and then send it, and the person will have to fill all this information. I hope this is all for today, and I hope I have given you an idea of how to automate the creation and sending contracts. Thank you very much. Goodbye.